Hey everybody, it's Undead Viking coming to you with another video review. This game I am reviewing today is Starship Merchants. It's just a very recent release from Toy Vault Games. It's for 2 to 4 people. Once you learn the rules and learn the flow of the game, you should be able to play a game, I'm guessing, about an hour. Less with like 2 people, a little more with 4. I played it with all 2, 3, and 4 people, and I've kind of it's like 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, I guess. But that's just the nuts and bolts of it. The theme of the game, as you can guess by the look of this very self-important young man here, is that each person is a starship merchant. You're not actually a pilot, if you will, or anything like that. You're running a corporation, if you will, a futuristic corporation that deals with asteroid mining. And through the course of the game, what will happen is that you will purchase starships that will be used to mine those asteroids. You'll purchase pilots for those starships. You'll get upgrades for those starships. You'll, of course, mine minerals. And then you'll take those minerals and sell them, hopefully turning a profit. And then as the game progresses, you'll move on to bigger and better starships, and so on and so forth, until finally the end of the game is reached, and whoever has the most money will win the game. Now, a few people I've seen comments about the game. They refer to this as a pick up and deliver game. They refer to it as maybe slightly having some 18xx qualities to it. I'm not really going to go into that. I'm just going to kind of explain to you how the game works, and if you're familiar with those types of mechanics, you can definitely glean whatever knowledge you want and compare it to your previous experiences. I'm just going to tell you how this game flows and how it plays, and then you can make up your own mind as far as whether or not it's something you want to add to your collection. Alright, well, let me show you how it plays, and as always, tell you what I think. Here we go! Okay, this is the board for Starship Merchants, and as you can see here, I've set it up for a 4-player game. All 4 of the rockets and the 4-player colors are over there getting ready to go. They're at the shipyard. You're going to buy your very first ship. You determine first player just randomly. You can just shake them up, all those particular rockets in your hand, draw one at random, rock, paper, scissors, well, however you're going to figure it out. Each person starts off with 15 credits. They start off with 2 mines that they know of. Basically, they're known space, and I'll explain what that means here in a little bit. And that's it. So everybody's basically got the same footing, and then the first player gets to take their actions first. Each person will get one of these little cards that represents the mining company that they run. Like here is, like, basically all these really do is just the color of the spaceship. Here's the purple one, the red one, the blue one, and the green one. At the very beginning of the game, you will draw 2 random mines out of here, and those will look like this. They have very space-agey names. I forget what they're called, actually. Like deuterium crystals and things like that. We always just refer to them as cubes, carrots, and soccer balls, if you will. On the front of these, you'll see this is how much they're worth if they're delivered. Turn this one over so you can actually read it. And that's 6, and that's 2, and that's 4. There's more random numbers, as far as what they're worth. And on the back, there's a little green border, and there's actually, this is if the mine becomes claimed by you, and they're actually worth more then. And I'll explain how that works in a little bit. Other than that, at the beginning of the game, you will you randomly draw 2 of these, and you just place these on your little company card here, and after the first time through, you'll remove these. Hopefully, you'll deliver them, and then you'll probably never use this again, other than to have in front of you and just, I don't know, add some flavor. I am the asteroid miners, things like that, as you're playing the game. But that's how that works. At the beginning of the game, like I said, you get 15 credits, and you'll have to buy a ship. You can't leave the shipyard without a ship, obviously. So you'll have 2 choices, especially if you're the first player of the game, you'll have 2 choices. And after that, you might have 2 choices, but there is 1 tug for each class of ship, starting 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so they're Mark 1, you can see up here. like that. And you can see how much they cost. This one costs 8 credits. This one costs 10 credits. And then if you can see here, this is how much energy it has, basically how many actions it can take in the asteroid mines, how much it can carry. This is a cargo space of 1. And this means, this Mark III means that once the Mark III ships come into play, this ship will be obsolete. And in comparison, you can see the Tug has less energy, but it can carry 2, and it also becomes obsolete in Mark III. So you'll purchase one of these, and what you'll get is for each ship you have, you will have one of these, and you'll place the Starship that you purchase right there. And then this has a spot for the destination it'll go to. If you have a pilot up here, the cargo's up here, any extra advancements that you put on the ship will go on these down here. You'll notice that there is a cargo space here and a cargo space here, and those are only able to access if you're actually able to get the advancements of the claw and the mining module that'll allow you to have access to those particular spots. So after you've got your ship, then you'll be able to move to the next spot on the board. On the second spot of the board, once you get to move, and it should be noted that after like green goes, then it'll be your red's turn, then blue's turn, then purple's turn. But I'm not going to go through each and every person's turn. Oh, and I forgot to mention something. If you don't have enough money, or you don't want to spend enough the money to purchase a ship, you can always take out a loan. And what happens is that you pay half of the price of the ship that you want. Say like you wanted to buy this Tug. So you'd pay, 5 for it. And then you would take out 2 loans. And so when you take out your 2 loans, each one of these loans must be paid off as half again. So you'd pay off 5 the next time around. You have to pay it off once you return to the shipyard. And then again, pay 5 again next time you return to the shipyard. And you can pay ahead of time if you wish. When you get back there, you can pay off both at once if you so desire. But, you do have to pay them all off. And because it takes an action actually to pay off the loan, sometimes you will pay it all off in one big chunk if you can, just because you don't want to have to spend another action in the shipyard next time you come around when you pay out the loan. But, so basically, instead of paying 10, you end up paying 15 in this case. So you'll always pay like 150% of the cost of the ship. But sometimes you have to upgrade because maybe your ships are becoming obsolete, or just to keep up to date, and keep in the running for the win, you need to get a better ship with, more energy and more cargo. I mean, like, for example, let's just look at the Mark IV Tug in comparison to the Mark I Tug. As I said before, 3, 2, and this one's got 8 and 7, so you can see, and also 50 credits. So there you go. But anyway, so moving on, you get to the next spot over here, and you just kind of go around in this circle, and you can see when you first come to the market, you have the option of discarding one of the 2 cards that are available for you to purchase in the market. I thought I'd just point out too, isn't it kind of neat? Doesn't that look a little bit like, I don't know, some older Jedi? And doesn't this look like some younger kid maybe following the Jedi to some market in some back alley spaceport? And if perhaps this particular person wasn't covered up, you can maybe see a little darker hair there. Maybe he's accompanying these 2 fine gentlemen. But anyway, so there we go. You get there, and like let's say we wanted to keep these because, say, the mining module, as you can see, costs 6 credits, but it grants +1 to your cargo. And this particular pilot, Lana, gives you +2 credits for each soccer ball delivered. So, maybe, I decided that I really wanted to purchase Lana. So you get 1 action. You can stay there and I could purchase again if I wanted. But I purchased Lana, so then she comes to work for me, and I place that up there. That's my pilot, and now she's piloting my Tug. And then, after that's done, you of course replace the card that's there. Here's a survey robot. You can explore for 1 energy, and I'll explain that here in just a moment. So, next turn. Finally I'm in the Asteroid Belt. Now, as I mentioned before, I have 2 little mines that I was aware of, because those are the ones I drew at the beginning of the game. And these become, and they're placed in front of me, like so, because these are in my known space. These are like where I know these are. And to claim one of these items and place it in my ship, it takes me 1 energy because they are known space. Oh, and I forgot, actually, there should be 2 destinations out here. So I'll explain those in just a quick second. So, as you can see, there is a soccer ball and a cube there. And so then I can claim those because the tug has 2 spots. And so I can say for 1 energy, I can claim that. For another energy, I can claim that. But I have 3 energy, so I have an energy left. Now, if I wanted to, and one of these worked for me, and I had enough energy to claim it, I could take one of these. But as you can see, both of these destinations are just for delivering carrots, and once again, for delivering carrots. And I couldn't take this one anyway, because it's 3 energy to take it. So I don't want those. So for 1 energy, you can wipe the destinations that are there, and then go like that. Now this uses up my energy, but at the very least, maybe I will get a good destination. But, like, unfortunately, like, this one would be, like, fairly decent, because it would add 2 coins to my total payout for 2 energy. And so maybe I can hope that that one will be there for me the next time. Let's just say it is. So, it goes all the way around, and my next turn, I can take that. And once you take a destination, you're done in the Asteroid Belt. So, that's got to be pretty much your last action. And so, you place that there. Ooh, I lost my... And so there I have my tug, and it's ready to go. And so I take 1 more turn, and my next turn I get to the dock, and now I get to look and see how much money I made. Well, I get 3 for this, and 4 for that, that's 7. I get an extra 2 for that, because it adds 2 to my total payout for 9. But let's not forget Lana gives me 2 for every soccer ball. So I get 11 credits for making that particular run. So I've already paid for my tug, because I paid 10 right away. And so now I take that 11, and the next turn I'll go back to the shipyard, and I'll see if I want to buy another, like perhaps buy another scout or buy another ship, and you can add a ship to your fleet. And as you can see, you'll continue around the board upgrading your ships and so on and so forth. Now there's a few things I didn't show you due to the fact that I was just kind of going to show you a sample trip around. Now, if you ever have a resource or a mine in front of you like that that's in your known space and you don't use it, it'll go into the middle of the board like this, and that's called local space. And that means that anybody who's playing the game can claim these that are in the middle of the board. And that means that they'll be able to say, oh, well, since that's local space, it takes 1 energy to claim that. Now, if I was playing it and I had these in front of me like this, my known space, somebody else could take those from me for 3 energy. So they can say, well, I really want this cube, it's worth 4, I'm going to use 3 energy, I'm going to take that. Plus, I'm going to make sure you can't use it. So now it's gone and they get to deliver it on their particular ship. Now, something that you can have as an option during the game is when you get to the market, before you do anything else, you can at that point pay 6 credits to take one of these and basically, stake a claim to it. And you flip it over and it becomes green like this. It becomes worth more every time you deliver. And no one can take that. It is then yours for the rest of the game. No one can touch it. It sits in front of you, whether you use it or not. And those happen to be, nobody can take advantage of those particular mines except for you. Now, in the belt, as opposed to just claiming one that's in front of you, or claiming somebody else's, or claiming one from the middle of the board, you can go exploring. Remember I mentioned the survey robot before and exploring? For 2 energy, you can reach into the bag and you draw a mineral. So here we have the carrots, there were 3. So now I can immediately place this inside a ship that was doing the exploring. Or it'll then go, if I don't take it, it goes into the local space in front of me. And as long as I have energy, I can continue to do this. And a lot of times when you're playing, you'll do this a lot because of the fact, say like you were going to do something like this destination, and you needed, to get the 5 credits, you needed 3 or more of the the carrot resource, so you'd sit there and you'd keep drawing until you got those particular items. Now there's things like the survey robot that allow make it easier. There's things like this is another, this is just a little cube for it, but this is the Explorer module that allows you to state a particular resource you're looking for. If you don't draw that, you get to redraw it, so you can basically hedge your bet, if you will. And also there's different pilots that'll allow you to actually, like one pilot will allow you to draw 2 tiles out of this bag and keep 1, and things like that, that you can there's cards that basically allow you to break the rules in some minor way to change things around, to try to help you when you're in the asteroid belt trying to get the minerals that are basically your money that you're going to need to turn those in. Now there's one other card that I didn't show you yet, and these are the refineries. Now the refineries don't come into play until somebody first gets to the dock, and as soon as it comes to the dock, the first refinery card gets turned over. And you can see this. Oh, actually, because it's Ice 9, I guess, is instead of cubes. But for 10 credits, you can get these, and then you get 1 extra credit for each, blue cube gets delivered. And that's one person gets that, and it's that person gets that particular bonus throughout the rest of the game. So if you get a refinery early in the game, it'll pay off. But if you get one late in the game, obviously, you're not going to have enough turns to make it worth your while to get that 10. Now, all of these are pretty much the same, except for this guy, the cobalt mine, that gives 2 for each cobalt delivered, or carrot as we call it. This is very powerful, actually, and it's, as noted, because it costs a lot. It basically turns the weakest of the minerals. Notice that these are normally the lowest starting. However, if you notice on the backs, they're worth a lot. But the crystals, or the cobalt, basically become really, really valuable if you manage to get this refinery. And there's been a lot of games where we've definitely had a lot of success if you can get this earlier in the game, and you can use it to your advantage and deliver a lot of this orange resource and turn a lot of money. There's also a little bit of a disagreement between me and some of my other people in my gaming group about this, but I'll get into more of that in my conclusion. But there's very few of these. There's only 5. So once they're gone, they're gone. So I mean, and there's 2 for the Ice 9, and there's 2 for the Cobalt, and there's only 1 for the Deuterium. I knew one of the names. So, but there you go. Game progresses, as I said, you go around in the circle, each person making their turn. As soon as the very first Mark III ship is purchased, all Mark I ships become obsolete. At that time, if you have upgrades and improvements and pilots on Mark I ships that you wish to carry over, you're allowed to take 2 advancements and 1 pilot. You have to repay for either the salary of the pilot, or repay the amount of cost that the improvement cost to transfer it over to another ship. You can't ever do that except for when your ships go obsolete. But that's when Mark III ships, first Mark III ship is purchased, then Mark I ships go obsolete. And as soon as the very first Mark IV ship is purchased, the Mark II ships go obsolete. And so that's one of those things where some people who have been trying to save money by not purchasing the newer ships might find themselves with no ships at some point, because of the fact that the other players have basically pushed their fleet into obsolescence. But the game progresses until either one of 2 things happen. Somebody gets 100 credits, and they're in the dock with 100 credits, and they declare last turn, at which point that person gets a 10 credit bonus, and then everybody else has 1 last trip to get around. No matter where they are, as soon as they hit the dock, the game is over. Otherwise, if somebody makes it to the dock and they have 150 credits or more, they have to declare last turn. And then they, once again, get the 10 credit bonus, and play progresses until everybody finally docks, and then the game is over once again. Whoever has the most credits wins the game. Alright, well, let me tell you exactly what I think of Starship Merchants. Oh man, I just looking around, I really gotta clean up my game room. That's something I need to get done. But anyway, Starship Merchants. There, you should have a really good idea of how to play. And by now you should know that this is if you're familiar with other Euro games, you should be very familiar with the idea of the economic Euro. Lots of different Euros have situations where victory points are earned through various processes, and so those are what determines who wins the game. Whereas in an economic game, usually, and not all the time, but usually, what the victory points are is actually the money that each person makes. And so it's a classic situation where you're investing your victory points into, the money, into the possibility of earning more money later. And that's how the game progresses. So, if you play types of games like that, you're very familiar with that. If you haven't, it's kind of a neat little thing where you have to kind of decide, do I kind of go in the hole right here, and knowing full well that I'm going to get a return off of that investment, and hopefully can I turn that investment fast enough, and better than my opponents, and that's how the game flows. Now, I enjoy the game. I really do. I don't think it's a really heavy game, though. It's a very medium to medium light game, in my opinion. I wouldn't call this a gateway game, just due to the fact that there's, quite a few different weird random things that go on as far as the mechanics are concerned. I definitely could see this as being a game that you could teach to somebody who had never gamed this type of game before, but it definitely wouldn't be in their comfort zone that something like Ticket to Ride would be, of course. Now, what do I like about the game? I really like I said, I dig economic Euros, but I'm not a very good economic Euro player. A lot of the things that are very, very well loved by fans of that genre of game. I just don't grasp very well, but I can grasp this one pretty well. Maybe it's just because it's a little more simpler, that was horrible. A little more simple than your average heavier type game. I really like the timing mechanic. Basically it's a rondel game. Once again, there's mechanics, and I said I wasn't going to get into those, but it's kind of a rondel where the whole board is a rondel. But it isn't like a rondel where you can skip spots, so it isn't exactly the same thing. Each spot on the board gives you the option, except for the dock at the end. Obviously, you just go there and you get your money and you move on. But the other three spots on the board give you the option of staying there and and doing more actions, but at the cost of actually slowing yourself down. And the whole point of the game is to be quick and efficient and earning money. So you're constantly kind of making that tough decision. I shouldn't say constantly, but there are enough tough decisions in this game as far as the timing wise that it keeps me interested. But it isn't so many that's causing massive amounts of analysis paralysis in the players in the table. That's not a big deal to me. I don't care if other players take a long time in their turns. I've said that 1,000 times. Obviously, if you're taking an hour before you're making up your mind, I'm going to have a problem. But take 5-10 minutes, whatever. I can talk to my friends at the table, and it's okay. A lot of people have that issue, though. And so that's one of the things that's really good about this game, is that it doesn't really inspire that. Usually, you have 2, maybe 3 options that you're trying to deal with. 2 usually. And you just kind of say, well, do I want to stay here and maybe mine some more, minerals? Or should I cut and run, grab a destination, and get moving, and head to the dock, make my money, and move forward? I like the fact that it's timed in a way, but it isn't really timed, due to the fact that the players decide when they want the game to be over. Most likely, due to the fact that somebody can call last turn as soon as somebody has more than 100 credits in front of them, and they're at the dock, and they go last turn, and then so now everybody else who still has actions left has to try to figure out how are they going to make enough money to get more money than that person at the end. And I've had a few games where I was losing, but I had players invest too much in, say, buying a new ship, and I had just over 100 credits, and I called last turn, and they weren't able to, get a return on that investment before they got back to the last spot on the dock, and so I was able to win the game. So I really like that about the game. Now, it has lots of those little fun little things going for it. A lot of people are going to have a problem with some of the randomness that's involved, as far as drawing the minerals out of the bag, and also win the good synergy of the cards that you need as far as the pilots or the destinations are going to come forth for you. I do think that we've kind of had to go back and forth a few times with some of the players. With the refineries, there's one refinery in the game that actually, as they call them, the carrots, but the orange resource, I forget what it's called now, like deuterium crystals or something like that, but we just call it the carrots. And they have an issue that there's the one refinery that you can gain for those, that for every single one you get 2 extra credits for each and every one that you deliver. And so that's one of those things where the first time we played it, somebody got that and they won handily. And later on, like, we kind of made it a point to try to get that one if we were lucky enough to grab it. But we lessened that effect due to the fact that we could see it happening, and then we could try to keep that mineral out of that person's hands as much as possible. And so they weren't able to get that. Now, is it game breaking? I don't know. I think that if in a new game with a bunch of players who haven't played the game, that's going to, the person who's going to grab that could very well easily win the game, especially if they get the other refinery, so they have double the money basically. But I don't know. I don't know if there's a quick fix as far as like taking that out of the game or leaving it in. It's one of those things where I'm sure there's something about it that I'm not grasping as far as a way to combat the strategy of that particular refinery. But I have chosen to leave it in the game, and we've had games where people have taken it and not won the game due to shrewd business actions of the other players at the table. So I don't think it ruins the game, though I have had some players in my group say that it detracts from it and that it's a bad card and we should just take it out. But, I'm always of the opinion that usually a game that goes to publication like this has gone through tons of play testing, and who am I to say that me and my group in like 2, 3, 4 games of play have found a way to beat the game, or the game's broken in some sort of way. And that's not always the fact. I mean, sometimes there are things that get overlooked, but more often than not, a game that is published is usually pretty good, right? So anyway, there you go. Starship Merchants. If you're looking for a light to medium economic Euro with some cool mechanics and some randomness thrown in, I definitely say check it out. It's a pretty good game. I've enjoyed the heck out of playing it. I've played it nearly a dozen times now, and I always know, and I say this about lots of games, I always know that a game's good is as I'm playing it, if I got a little smile on my face as I play. And as I play this game, I do. I just kind of I have a little smile on my face as I play, because I'm just really enjoying playing the game and interacting with my friends and just having a good time. So there you go, Starship Merchants. It's out now. You should be able to find it in stores. If it isn't out now, it should be out very, very soon. Toy Vault Games, if you have any questions or comments, by all means leave them below. I will answer them as soon as I possibly can. I know sometimes I never answer questions. I'm a busy guy. I apologize. But I'll try to answer the pertinent ones or the impertinent ones if I have a chance, if you will. Until next time, this is Undead Viking. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, you have yourself a great day. I'll talk to you later.